So you have invested
0.2342.
how much?
0.2342. 0.2342, sir, holding period.
0.2342, you have to multiply by 100. Then only you will get percentage. So the answer is correct. 23.42 will be your answer.
Yes, sir.
So if you get it in decimal, always multiply it by 100. Only then you will be able to get the percentages correct. Right?
Yes, sir.
So let's go through step by step. Good job. So initial NAV at the beginning is going to be 8.75 rupees. And NAV at the end is 9.45. The mutual fund has given two options. Either pay 0.75 unit as dividend and 0.6 as capital appreciation. And these income that is generated from this mutual fund will have to be reinvested at the NAV of 8.65. So now you have to calculate holding period return. First calculate the original holding period return for the particular mutual fund unit. So change in price is initially 8.75 as you can see and 9.45 towards the end. So the key here we have 8.75 and 9.45. These are the two values that you have here. Now with these two values, the change in price is going to be 0.7. We have received a dividend of 0.75. You add that also. And then the capital appreciation is going to be 0.6. So the total returns that you have got is 2.05 and your initial investment is 8.75 rupees, which is at the beginning.
24.8.
So the overall holding period return is going to be 23.42 rupees. That is your overall holding period return. You have this as the initial holding period return. Now, going to the reinvestment portion, initially you had invested in 300 units, right? So for 300 units, how much returns have you got? You have got the 0.75 and 0.60 as your return, excluding the price change. So 1 rupee 35 paisa is going to be your overall return which you have received from 300 units. So that gives you overall return of 405 rupees excluding the price change. Now if you get this 405 rupees and you want to reinvest it in the mutual fund again, you're going to reinvest it at what price? You're going to reinvest it at the price that is given to you here, which is 9.45 rupees. They have given in the question in the second half, 9.45 NAV is at the end, 8.25 is NAV at the beginning, and you have invested it at 8.65. So reinvestment cost is 8.65 divided by 405. So that gives you 46.82 units in total. And you have got a return of 405 rupees. And if you reinvest the same money at 8.65, you can buy only 46.82 units. So you had initially bought 300 units. Now you are buying 46.82 units. You're reinvesting in the same mutual fund. So the value of your investment at the end will be 300 plus 46.82. So 346.82 multiplied by the NAV at the end, which is going to be 3277.45. And then the price you have paid for this particular mutual fund, which is only 300 units that you purchased from your own money without reinvesting, and you invested it at 8.75 rupees average. So your investment is 2625 rupees. So your holding period return is 3277 minus 2625 divided by 2625, which is going to be 24.86%. That is another holding period return problem. Typically, these questions are some of the most frequently asked questions on mutual funds in the exam, and they've been asked multiple times. Do practice holding period return questions whenever possible. Now moving on to...
Sir.
Yes.
Sir, that is 300 unit. Where you will get, sir? Prepaid investment, no?
300 unit, if you notice, in the question they have given that you have invested how many units in this mutual fund? You have invested 300 units. So you have invested 300 units initially at what price? 8.7. Then whatever returns you got, that you reinvested again. Okay, are you clear now?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir. Thank you.
Okay, good. Now let's move on to another question. So mutual fund has shown a net asset value of 11.6 at the beginning and 12.5 at the end. Meanwhile, fund distributes 0.75 as dividend and 0.85 as capital gains. So again, very similar question has come once again in December 2019 also. So you apply the same logic. Holding period return is the addition of three different types of returns. What are the three types of returns you calculate in the initial HPR or holding period return? What will you add here? Calculate holding period return. You have to consider three types of return. Can anybody tell me what they are? Okay, please make a note of it.
Dividend and capital gain.
Yes, price change plus dividend plus capital appreciation or capital gain. Please make a note of this somewhere. This is almost a short question in your exam for 5 to even up to sometimes 8 marks depending on the complexity. So just make sure that you remember the initial holding period return is the addition of three things: price change, capital appreciation and dividend. And usually they will ask a reinvestment question typically. So whenever you go for a reinvestment, always remember the reinvestment portion, you ignore the price change initially. You only consider the overall return, that is dividend distributed and capital appreciation into number of units. That is your overall return. So same problem in December 2019 also. I'll share the document later. You can solve. Let's look at what other types of questions are given to you here. Yes, so you have another unique type of question here. Initially, you have the market value of funds portfolio given to you. Equity oriented mutual fund with data. Data on 2 days, market value on 2nd January and market value on 3rd January. The overall receivables are also given to you. And in addition to that, you have accrued income also given to you, 200 as well as 150 rupees. You have accrued expenses, 50 and 50. And then you have other payables, 100 rupees and 100 rupees. So you have been given an overall expenses and income statement of a mutual fund. The accrued expenses and other payables are expenses, and the overall dividend declared as well as the accrued income and the receivables, they are your income. So how do you compute, number one, NAV using the formula, and also they will give you the number of mutual fund unit that has been allotted to a particular person. You have to calculate that also. So first, let's calculate NAV of this particular fund on the 2 different dates given to you. So NAV is nothing but net asset value. Net asset value is the value of your mutual fund, that the corpus that you have collected, the total money collected by you, and the market value of that investment. You add the income and you deduct the expenses. Very simple. You add income and you deduct expenses. So On 2nd January, you have 19,300 rupees is the market value. So you add the income, 200 rupee receivable and accrued income of 150. So that's 19,650 rupees total. And then you have the total expenses and liabilities, which is other payables and accrued expenses. So add all incomes and assets, deduct all liabilities and expenses. For both the days, that will give you an overall value. Whatever value you get, which is 19,500 and 20,000 in this case, after adding all the assets and incomes and deducting the expenses and liabilities, you divide the overall value, market value of that particular mutual fund, you divide it by the number of units, which is going to give you the number of NAV. So net assets is 19,500 divided by 5 lakh. 1 second. They have done an error here. This should not be the case, but typically the NAV formula is the total net assets divided by number of units. That is actually the NAV value. It should not be 5 lakh units. So they have done an error here. But still you get the idea, 19,500. You have to divide it by the number of units that has been invested in this mutual fund. So that will give you the actual NAV per unit. It cannot be, what do you say? If it is 39 rupees per unit, the number of units should be 5,500, not even 5,000 actually. Only then you will be getting that particular value. So there is a issue in this question, but write down the formula here. NAV is equal to net assets divided by outstanding number of units. That is the formula for NAV. They have kind of messed up a zero here and there. That is why this question is slightly different. So yeah, these two are usually the most frequently asked questions with respect to the mutual fund chapter. Let's look at another question relating to NAV here. R is holding 2,000 units of an equity-oriented scheme of a particular mutual fund and 1,000 units of a debt-oriented scheme of a mutual fund. So total investment is in 3,000 units. On 7th June 2020, he is interested to redeem these units. Redeem means he wants his money back. The prevailing NAV of these units we should calculate. On 6th June, 45 rupees. On 7th June, 46. On 8th June, 47. He wants to redeem it on 7th June. So typically, you have to consider which of the values is the question. He makes an application for redemption on 7th June, but he makes the application at 2:30 p.m. So what price will be paid to him for the equity scheme and the debt scheme? Is it 45, 46 or 47 rupees? Or is it 35, 34 or 33 rupees for the debt fund? So you have to make sure that you know the cutoff time for this particular question. Cutoff time for equity oriented and debt funds. If you have placed an order before 3 p.m., then you have to consider same day NAV. So he placed an order at 7th June 2:30 p.m., which is before 3 p.m. So before 3 p.m. you take same day NAV, but if the order is after 3 p.m. you take the next day's NAV. So in this case, if the value whenever you are redeeming a mutual fund, which particular value should you consider for redemption if the order is before 3 p.m.? Did you consider same day or next day NAV? What do you guys think?
Next day NAV, sir.
If it is before 3 p.m., it is same day NAV. In this question, he has placed an order at 2:30 p.m. if you notice. And
Same day NAV,
why
sir.
same day NAV we are taking? The order was placed on 7th June. That is why we are taking 46 and 34 rupees in this case. If you had placed an order after 3 p.m., then you will take 47 rupees and 33 rupees as the NAV. So he will get more money in the equity oriented scheme and less money in the debt oriented scheme. Right? And if the total value is less than 2 lakhs for purchasing a mutual fund also, the calculations are different. So I would once again suggest that you look at the timing of the transaction. That is crucial for mutual fund NAV calculation, whether it is equity oriented or debt oriented schemes, which is now available on your screen. All right. Now, in the same question, if they ask you if the NAV is to be calculated and the order is placed after 3 p.m., let's say the order is made at 3:15 p.m., then what price will you take? You will take same day NAV or next day NAV? If you are redeeming
Next
after
day
3
NAV,
p.m.
sir.
Yes.
Next day NAV.
And next day NAV, why is it 47 and 33? Let's look at the question. If you notice here, order was placed at 7th June. If it is at 2:30, for equity oriented scheme it is 46 rupees, for debt oriented scheme it is 34 rupees. But if the same order is placed after 3 o'clock, the price is 47 rupees for equity oriented scheme and 33 rupees for the debt oriented scheme. Alright guys? So that is what you need to focus for NAV calculations. Let's move on. Now, December 2021 question, Rakesh has invested 20,000 rupees in a particular mutual fund. This is the third variety question. This is a load question. So, first type of question is holding period return. The second type of question is timing of sale and redemption for NAV. And third question is the entry and exit load. Load is nothing but expenses. Just remember this. How much expenses should you pay if you want to invest in a mutual fund? That is typically a load question. So find out the NAV as well as the load. If the number of units purchased was 100. So he invested 20,000 rupees and he only got 100 units. So straightforward, what is the NAV formula? Total value of the particular assets plus, how do we calculate net assets? We add income and gains along with assets and we deduct expenses and liabilities. So is load an expense or is this an income?
Expense, sir.
So will you deduct the load or will you add the load to the 20,000 rupees?
Deduct, sir.
Right. So that's a straightforward 5-mark question. So let's have a look. So purchase price is going to be NAV plus the entry load. Since it's an expense for you, you are only going to get okay. Another easy way of finding this out is they said 1% is the entry load, right? How much is 1% of 20,000? 200 rupees. So another alternative of doing this, if you don't want to include mathematics, is whatever is the entry load, you calculate that based on the overall money invested. So 1% is the entry load, which means on 20,000, the total expenses that you have to bear as an investor is 200 rupees. Will you deduct 200 or will you add 200 rupees? You are going to deduct the 200 rupees from this particular mutual fund. So from 20,000 you deduct 200 rupees, you will get 19,800 rupees. 19,800 divided by how many units did you invest in? You invested only in 100 units. You could only purchase 100. So NAV formula is net assets after adding assets and incomes and deducting expenses and liabilities divided by the number of units that you have purchased. So number of units you have purchased, they have given in the question 100. Numerator is 19,800. Denominator is 100 units. So the answer for your NAV is 198 rupees. That is the straightforward answer for the load-based question. Alright, so load should be deducted. Load is an expense. Incomes and assets should be added. That goes in the numerator. After adding and deducting whatever amount comes, it divided by number of units. Alright, that is your third type of mutual fund question, and these are the only three type of mutual fund based questions which are numericals you'll get in the exam. Typically people get a little frightened, especially in CS, for handling numericals. But for capital markets paper, numericals are very easy to solve. So always try to make sure that if you get a numerical, especially mutual fund, always solve those, because 5 marks is easy money, right? So the three formulas that we have discussed today are: number one, what is the first one we discussed?
Holding period method, sir.
Holding period return. What are the three types of return you have to add in the numerator?
Change in price, dividend, capital appreciation.
And denominator will be the price in the beginning or price in the end?
Beginning, sir. Beginning price.
Price in the beginning into number of units that you have invested in. That gives you overall holding period return. If you don't want to consider unit, if you just consider price also, you can calculate the same percentage. Just make sure you multiply whatever answer you get by 100 to convert your answer into percentage. So that is holding period return. Second type of question is timing based question, before 3 o'clock or after 3 o'clock. You can do three types of transactions. You can purchase a mutual fund, you can switch a mutual fund, or you can sell or redeem a mutual fund. For that, different NAVs are computed for before 3 p.m. and after 3 p.m. And the third type of question is your NAV computation based on entry and exit load. Load are expenses, so deduct those expenses always and add the incomes and gains as well as assets. What you get is the overall net asset value of the mutual fund divided by number of units. That gives you per unit net asset value. Total net asset value in rupees divided by number of units is going to give you NAV in number of units. So NAV per unit is going to be the goal for your third type of question. Alright, so we share these questions in your group right now. Please do practice it. And Thursday, if you have any other doubts in these questions and numericals, please do ask on that day. Alright, so that should be it for today. Take care and have a nice day.